Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I am the old guy. We have a special episode today on contraptions and farm building. So I am actually on Skybounds. You can see the IP over on the side of the screen, skybounds.com. These contraptions and farms that I'm going to be showing you are useful in most Skyblock servers and things that I've built and done and wanted to gather them all in one place. And when I get done with this, we'll try to keep this island open. It's actually my alt island, good grief. And we'll be able to have him AFK on here for off and on and let people come on and make the island public so everybody can come and see how we do it. So first off, I've got a section of basic pulse generators. Starting with the simplest here, this is just a simple on-off clock. It's useful for driving a dropper continuously or something else you need. And the speed can be changed by this repeater here. It's got a on-off switch right here. And away it goes. So it's just redstone up to a block and the repeater feeding into this block with a redstone on it and the output coming out here. You can, if you need a clock like this, it's pretty useful. A couple issues with it. If you go to 0 like this, it will probably burn out. There we go. And need a reset. So you need at least some delay in there depending on the server you're playing on and how they treat redstone. So you can make this a little bit longer. It starts getting a little bit funky, but yep, works pretty good. You may have to reset it when you join. It doesn't seem like it always starts up but when you have your island loaded in. But anyways, it's a nice little simple easy little pulse generator. The next one here, this is the typical adjustable delay pulser that most everybody's familiar with a button and some repeaters. The key here is the on-off switch, which will come around here, and it's just a sticky piston with a switch next to it that you can turn it on or turn it off. Now, the way it works is if it's on, it's down, and we hit this button and it starts up the circuit and then comes back around, and you can see even though it's interrupting the path, the signal still goes through the block to the next repeater and then on out. When we turn it off, it keeps the signal from going through that next block and it's all off. The thing about this I like is that it also shortens up the pulse from the button press, because the button press pulse is quite long. You can see the this one didn't turn off and that one had turned on, so it's quite a long pulse that gets started. But with this on, it shortens up that pulse and makes it a nice sharp pulse. It's useful for quite a few things. You can use it to do dispensers, and pistons are probably the biggest use for it, for dispensing water, and for pistons if you've got them doing something else. Nice little, you can make this adjustable. If you need more delay in between pulses, you can just extend this out, put more repeaters. Make sure you put the repeaters all in the same direction coming around through, and then the output out here. It's probably a good idea to have a repeater that's acting as a diode, so if you got anything else happening out here, it's not coming back and hosing up your system. So nice little build, pretty easy to do. Most people have it with the exception of the on-off switch, and I like to have on-off switches and everything instead of having to break the redstone and then put it back down and then get it going again. Just having the on-off switch is pretty handy. So then we come over here to something more complicated. Variable long delay pulse generator, also known as the Kerchunkler. So this is actually an ethos clock, and I'll be doing in the description down below, I'll be putting links to all this stuff, the ones that I've got, and so you can look up more information. But this is kind of nice that it gives you a really long delay that you can use for letting crops harvest, and then using the output to or let the crops grow, and then using the output to activate a dispenser that will clear out the crops and let you harvest them. So it's basically, it uses the hopper going into each other, and it will transfer the items back and forth. Now you can, so the more items you put in the hopper, the longer it will take to activate the circuit. On Skybounds right now, I'm on my alt island, this transfer rate is pretty standard. On my main island, where I have a buff where the items get transferred quicker, it's this happens a lot quicker. So you probably want to, regardless of what you got, you probably want to do an experiment and load this up full with items and just time how long it takes to go back and forth to get you one circuit. So it's pretty easy to build, though. Actually, it may look a little bit complicated, but it really isn't. And also, I've added, in my builds, I've added this on-off switch, which is kind of nice because it'll, once the items get to this hopper over here, this piston is going to stay activated and it's not going to let them move back and forth. So it's kind of handy if you're taking things in and out of the hopper while it's going. It can be pretty confusing. By putting a switch on there, you can go ahead and stop it when you need to. So anyways, this perfect. So this is actually, this here, you can go, well, like on my main island, it will transfer 5 stacks of items in about 50 seconds. Typically that can go up to about 3 minutes, even a little bit longer. So you want to make, like I said, you want to make sure you understand what that time is. And this one actually feeds into another locked ethos system. It's locked by those 2 torches underneath there, and so it will only transfer 1 item for every full transfer of what you have here. So for instance, if I set this so that it's a minute, and then we get a activation once a minute, then this will transfer everything back and forth once it'll transfer 1 in 1 minute. So if I've got 7 here and I've got 1 here, so that means the output will take 8 minutes to come out here. So every 8 minutes I'll have a pulse that comes out here. So once you figure out the timing of these, then you need to just figure out how long it takes for your auto farm to get to a spot where you're ready to do the harvest, and then set your time that way. So it looks a little complicated, but it's not. I've got directions here, notes all over the place, and we'll when we have this open, you'll be able to come in here and see it, and then if you have questions, you can ask me in the comments, and I'll see if I can answer them. But we'll go ahead and do a build on this one. So you'll need 4 hoppers, 5 sticky pistons, 5 comparators, 3 redstone, a lever, 2 torches, 10 redstone, and 2 blocks. And I'm gonna grab, I think I'm good. So the layout looks like this. Now I built this above ground. You could build it right on ground, but I built it above ground so you can see it a little bit easier. And you need a layout that looks like this. And I'm gonna insert a freeze frame here in a couple spots, like right here. And then another one over here, right about like that. And then one final one over here. So you need a layout like this. You'll need 1 hole here, and let's see, so then you'll need yeah, so if you built this in ground, you would need a 2 deep hole there, 1 deep hole there, and a one deep hole there, and another one over here. You'll see once we get into the build where that's at. So it starts off in the back here. I like to start in the back and then work my way forward. Just place a hopper down and then sneak and put another hopper and come around and take this hopper up and make sure you're sneaking and place it into that hopper. Pretty easy. And then come over here and place comparators there and there. And now we'll come down and put a sticky piston there and sticky piston there. And then we'll need a piece of redstone there and here, and we'll put the lever right there. And let's see, what else do we need here? Oh, yep, so now we need a piece of redstone right there where the block, the missing block is, and then we need a sticky piston facing up, and I do need one piece of dirt. I knew I was going to forget something, so we'll go ahead and you can put any block there, yeah, so you need to put a block on top of the sticky piston, and then we'll put a repeater here. That repeater needs to be on one tick, and let's see, so I think that's it. I wait for all that, and then I turn on this guy, and then we should be able to put a redstone block right there. Alright, so this is all good to go. We just need to put items in the hopper. We'll wait until we get this other section built to do that. So that's the first section, and now the next section we'll start with 2 redstones there. We'll put redstone lamps here and here, and then we'll put a hopper right, let's see if we can get it to go. Need another piece of dirt. Let me just use this dirt here. We'll place a hopper there, sneak, place another hopper there, break the dirt, break this hopper, and sneak and put that one down. So good, so we got that. Now we'll put, just like the other one, we'll put comparators facing out from the hoppers, and the sticky pistons next to the comparators, and a piece of redstone dust there and there, and an off switch. So now we got the output here, so this is a little bit different output. I like it because it gives us an on-off switch. So we got 2 pieces of redstone right there, and a comparator coming into this block, and very important, turn on the subtraction there. Then we'll put oh, I'm one short. I knew I was going to be one short. I knew somewhere this would happen. There we go. Sorry about this. And then we need 1 redstone there, and I'm short a lever. I am short a lever. Alright, there we go. And then we'll put a lever down here, and this is on off switch. If it's on, you'll see this light. If it's off, you'll see it off. And then we just need to finish up with the output of a repeater here, there, and I usually put this on all the way delay. And let's see what else I got. An extra piece. Oh, I got an extra repeater. I think we're good though. I think we're all set. Yep. All right, let me put this redstone block here, and we'll put some items in these hoppers. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's go ahead and we'll put 60 items in here. You can see it's ready to go. We flip the switch, and now it's transferring back and forth. We'll put the 3 in here, turn this guy on, and it will transfer 1 here as soon as this goes through. So so it goes back and forth. So this next one that it comes through on, it will be it'll transfer one piece of dirt to this hopper over here. So when that happens, then it'll come along and we'll actually get a pulse out of here now once that happens. So anyways, this is like I said before, this is useful for water dispensers, for auto farms, and also for driving pistons to break sugar canes, melons, and pumpkins. So you could set the time pretty long, so if that, even if it's a minute per cycle for that, you could make it, so we already had the transfer go through. You could make this, couple of hours long, easy. So, yep, pretty good, nice little build. I think I use this all over the place, and it works pretty good. Like I said, just getting the timing right is the only thing that can be problemsome. So, and I'm going to take this one. I'm going to actually deconstruct this one. I'll leave this one here up and running so that you can see it on the island. So then over here we've got the start of an auto farm, and I wanted to get started on this also. It's an auto farm for use with auto chest and auto planners. So if the server you're playing on has auto chest and auto planners, then this is the layout for you. It does need to be, the farmland needs to be within one chunk to work right, and the farmland is 15 by 15. Once I get done with this build, I'll go ahead and make ladders and steps and everything so you guys can get up here and see it and crawl around it. But if we come in here and go put the chunks on, you can see the farmland is all within one chunk, and so that when you put your auto chest in, all the items will be harvested. The auto planners got a spot up there, and then hoppers come feed the auto planner. So this is will work for 7x7. So if you have an auto planner that you can upgrade to 7x7, it works. It will work real well. If you have a smaller an auto planner that doesn't do 7x7, I recommend still building this size, because you can usually upgrade and you don't want to have to deconstruct this monster and build it again. So I really recommend going for the full size and then building up the layers. That's the other key, is you want to be able to start at the bottom and you want to make sure you've got at least 22. I'd go 24 or 26 high to make sure you had plenty of room for your contraption up at the top, because you will need to put something up there. So like I said, so it starts out with a 15 by 15 square of dirt, and then what I do is count in 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one is water on each corner here. Now the other thing is that some servers you don't need light to grow. On this particular one, you do need light to grow. I've seen different, it seems to be a little bit different, and they've adjusted it, I think, a little bit. But anyways, if you've got, if your server requires light to grow, you probably want to put in a light source. Either sea lanterns or glowstone should work for this, as long as it's something you can put redstone over. It keeps it pretty handy. So like I said, you've got, and that's why I've got these glowstones spots in here. It takes up from the farmland, but without it, it's it's kind of not, you don't want to get all the way through and then find out that you have to put these glowstones or sea lanterns in. So yeah, so I usually do the farmland first, and then put the water down, and then put a slab. It can be any slab over top of where the water's at, and then go around the outside and start constructing the wall that will be in place for when the water dispenser. So I've got the water dispensers sitting here now. The placement on these is a little bit critical, you want to make sure that wherever you place the water dispenser, you're going to be able to put a repeater going into a block on top of it. So for this case, I've got the input is going to come from this direction, and it's going to be using the Kerchunkler that we just built over there. It's going to come right in here and then come in and get split off for both sides. So you'll want to make sure you understand where you're going to put your Kerchunkler, and make sure you've got room for it too, because they aren't very compact. It's going to take up a pretty good size area. So make sure you understand where your Kerchunkler is coming from, and before you put in your dispensers, because you need to make, like I said, you need to make sure that you can put a repeater going into a block on top of that bottom dispenser, and then follow it all the way around. One thing I do is I make sure I have one direction that I come from and then stop at, and the other direction I come from and stop at, and then I can put in a glass block so that you can easily see in and see what's going on in there. Once you get it built up, there's going to be only one way in and out, and that should be right here where you'll be able to come up and then drop down, because I'll leave one column empty where I can get up and down, especially to get to the auto planner. So you want to make sure, and I even try to even go down one at the bottom here so I can come down here and make sure I see what's going on. Also, I don't put the water buckets in the dispenser until the very last thing, so that you don't have any accidents that makes a mess. Let's see, so I think that's about it for the first level. I do have this guide over here. I don't know why I picked these colors, but I did. So you can see you'll need one block below the dirt for the water, and then the next block up will be dirt, a space, and this is actually the cobblestone space, and then dirt, and then it goes up. So you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels that will be planted on, and you'll place your auto planter in the middle here. If it's at a 5x5 or smaller auto planter, and you didn't want to build the higher levels, you could move it down. You may have to do some experimentation to see where the auto planter reaches to, but you can move, you can move this up and down, this auto planter up and down. As long as you can get hoppers into the top of it, you should be good. So I'll go ahead and pause here. I'll go ahead and do get my stuff together for a cross-sectional. I'll do probably a corner over here, and we'll go through that build, and I'll show you how that goes, and we'll put another level on top for that section, just so you can see that. So let me pause here. I'll get my stuff, and we'll be back. Alright, then to start the next level, you just start by placing dirt one block above your farmland. Very important. Believe me, I've made the mistake so many times. Make sure you check underneath the bottom layer before you start the next layer, because this is a bear to get into and out of once you get the build going. You're breaking redstone or breaking something in order to get in and fix something if you've made a mistake. So very important to make sure your first level is okay before you go to the next level. So anyways, like I said, I'm just going to do this one corner here to give you an idea of how it goes. So I've already got the dirt placed down, except for this spot right here, and this is exactly over the water below us. So now if I put the water here, the slab below it, it won't come out, and then I can put another slab over top of it and get rid of this dirt, and then we can hoe up the dirt and have some farmland. So, and I do this, I get the hoe out and I do it first thing as soon as I've got the water in place, just to make sure I haven't hosed anything up. So like I said, because you don't want, before you go to the next level, you want to make sure you've got farmland here. All right, so then you've got all the farmland done, and then you want to start and putting down your dispensers. your cobblestone or whatever blocks you're using to build with, and a light source. So we're going to start with dispenser right on top of the block that we have below the other one. That helps you keep the orientation the right way and lets you get started real good. And then we'll go ahead and put the block in. So this one's a 3, and we'll put a sea lantern there, and then we'll come and do 1, 2, 3. And we do need a block right here. All right, so there you go. And then we've already got since we've got the blocks between the dispensers here and a repeater feeding into that block, it's going to power both that level. So when you go to the next level, it'll be the same as this bottom one is as far as redstone. So all you have to do is repeat this bottom one on your next level up. And there you go. You just keep on building up and you'll get all the way up to here. And this will be your last level. And then you'll want to have hoppers. Now I usually build way too high. so you just want to make sure you've got some room above where your plants are, so you've got whatever crop you're growing, so you've got room. Here I go up quite a bit, and all you need is an auto chest. So for instance, if you were going to have carrots here, have auto chest, a hopper, and then a regular chest, and then hoppers all the way down to the planter. The reason I go high is so that now you can start branching off this chest with other hoppers to store it. So there's the problems with that though is that if one hopper path is favored over another one, then you may not get any crops down to the auto planter to grow. So I've got another contraption that we'll be doing here in the next episode that'll show you how to overcome that. But this is your start, your auto chest with going into a hopper and into another chest, and then the hoppers all the way down into the auto planter. So we'll go ahead, and I want to keep these tutorial videos kind of short so that we can do a couple more of these, and we'll be building other contraptions in the next videos. But this is the start of the auto farm. Like I said, I'll be showing you some other contraptions to split the items, the quantities in half, and how to do some transport stuff. And we'll also be doing an auto sorter and a dropper elevator too, I think is what I'm going to do. So we'll go ahead and say this is the first episode of the tutorial, and wanted to say thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Please leave me any comments, questions, suggestions down below. Please tell your friends about me, and please subscribe if you're new. Everyone, take care and be good.